What up, my Broodwar brothers? It is SC back with another week of KCM. This beautiful Sunday in June. It is fantastic outside right now. About 30 degrees. Feels like summer just appeared out of nowhere this week. It's just been rainy and shitty all the time. And then all of a sudden, blue skies, it's hot, everything's green and lush because of all the rain so far. And now it's time to get outside and do some summery things here while the weather is nice. I did a little swimming this morning. Went out on the lake yesterday. Had some friends over last night. It was beautiful. Those of you who haven't been to Canada, it's sunny and nice outside until like 9 p.m. in the summer. It is crazy. The sun goes down at about 9 o'clock. There's still a bit of twilight until around 10-ish. Then it's dark. And around 11 o'clock it starts to get cool. But it is beautiful right now. And for whatever reason, you know, I'm here in my room, hunched over my computer, making a Broodwar video. It's all because of the fans. You guys out there who support, especially those of you on Patreon, keep me in this, even when it's nice outside. Gotta keep making these videos because I know you guys are waiting for the latest edition of the KCM. We've got a sweet lineup. I'm sure you've seen it from the thumbnail there, but I will bring it up for you now. Ooh, showing the bar at the bottom. That's bad form. But there is your lineup. We've got Sharp, Rush, Mind, Mini, Snow, Best, Soma, Jadong, and Soul Key, of course. Mind and Best gonna start us off here. Mind, I haven't seen this guy for a very long time. I feel like, did he have another ID? I'm gonna have to look him up here after this first game and try to remember where I know him from, but I've definitely seen him play before. I feel like he's taken a long hiatus though from Broodwar and now making a return here. We'll see how he does in this first game versus Best, who he's been doing all right in some of these tournaments, but hasn't really been at the level that we all want to see from him. He's a fan favorite in Broodwar. Ooh, this Zealot could end up getting behind the Marine. No, he pulls back in time, but not going to be able to block the ramp here. Whoa, 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 he does get in front of it. That's bad for Mind. Mind's not going to be able to kite this back the way that you would want to. Instead, he's got this one Marine over on the left-hand side that's going to take some damage from this probe and actually could get taken out. Diving here behind the two supply depots and the barracks, getting into a better position. Nice blocking there with the SCV. He's actually going to get that. Not quite. But the Marine stays alive and can just wander out on the map. Oh yeah, he can bring it back into the natural now. Nice. Mind keeps that third Marine alive. And the bunker will come down in time. 4 Marines now, easily enough to hold off that Zealot. And Best will just retreat. Vulture gonna sneak out on the map here before the Dragoon can make its way to the natural. Best should know that this Vulture will be out on the map at this point. So he will rally the next Dragoon over onto that ramp. Make sure the Vulture can't sneak its way across here and try to get up into the Protoss main. That would be disastrous. A Nexus on the way and a robotics facility here for Best. A little bit of early action has died down now, so it's going to be relaxing here into a bit of build up as Best and Mind try to scout each other out while simultaneously getting their economies up and running, preparing for that mid game. I haven't seen Mind for a very long time. I'm still blanking a little bit on the last time I saw this guy play and what his style actually was. But the name is so familiar. I feel like I've seen him play a lot. There are a ton of Broodwar players, but only a small select group make it into the ASL each year. It's a very elite club almost of Broodwar players that get into ASL every year, that manage to compete in these big tournaments. Of course, new players are always coming in and out, but there's kind of a core group of players that have just been around for so long, that have been honing their skills over years and years and years, and have been practicing partners with each other for all of this time that Broodwar's been out. Of course, you cannot reach these high levels unless you have the access to those practice partners. You can test out your builds and find out what is going to work and what isn't going to work. Whoa, that mine! Huge mine connection there. Mine trying to get up here in the face of Best. Get these mines down right in the front here and try to get some damage done, but he ends up baiting that mine into the Marines. Force Mind not losing any tanks, so not being fully punished for his overly aggressive attack here. Marines were very low from the initial fighting, so he was a little bit crazy to be going for that. Is he gonna lose his tank here? Just a couple more hits. Not enough mines being set up, and he loses that tank. So I take back what I said earlier. He does end up getting punished very hard here, and the bunker has nothing inside. He blocks with the SCVs so that the Dragoons cannot run up here and kill this tank. But Mind has put himself in a rough position here by getting so aggressive in the early game. Everything held perfectly by Best. And now he could end up losing this tank on high ground. A lot of missed shots here, but he does end up getting that, only losing one Dragoon. And then running behind the mineral patches here. These SCVs are going to have to be pulled to fight, but a lot are going to end up dying here. Mind in desperate straits as more Dragoons rally up to the front. These Vultures trying to lay down mines in the front, but there's already an observer here. Too bad he didn't have mines in the way of these rallies. Gonna set up another tank on high ground. Can he run forward and actually kill this tank? Oh, a lot of missed shots here. One more hit. He does get a lucky shot there with his Dragoon and kills that tank. Mine's still struggling to control his natural here. He is so far behind that I don't think there's any way to recover. He's still gonna stay in for a little longer, but desperate situation here for Mind. So many SCVs have been picked off. He's barely producing at all. Best has multiple observers here. He sees everything that's coming out from Mind. And he's going to have to fight with SCVs here. Big repair on this tank. Can he actually keep it alive? No, he cannot. This tank on the high ground as well will end up getting picked off. This should be it. This should be GG as the last tank falls. He does get the surround with this with these SCVs, but more rallies are going to come forward here really soon from Best. He can continue to kite these SCVs. Another command center's coming up. That's a little bit optimistic, I would say, from Mind. I don't think he can even hold his own natural, not to mention another base out here in the front. Looks like Best just wants to crack him and end this. I'm surprised he hasn't left already. I think Best thinking the same thing. Just gonna throw a few zealots into that shuttle, fly across the map, and bomb those tanks to death. Finish them off with a few Dragoons here. Mind trying to get across the map, do some sort of damage, put some mines down in front of Best's natural. That mine not quite going to go off there. Was really close, but he drops these Zealots and Reaver here on the high ground. Just bit of juggling there. Going to be able to take out these tanks, and the Dragoons should be able to do the rest. GG is called. Mind gets taken out here prematurely. In his comeback to KCM, Mind has already been eliminated, and Best will continue on to game number 2. Alright guys, Mind has been eliminated. Took a look at his bio during the break. He is a storied player in the Kespa era. He played a lot of Broodwar, even making his way up to an MSL victory in 2007. He took down Bisu, so he's been around for a long time. Hasn't had as much success in the modern era. Did switch over to Starcraft 2 for a little bit, but he's back, and I hope the best for him in the future, man. A lot of players trying to make their comeback, and in this modern era, it is a tough game now, where things have been so figured out by these pro players that in order to compete, you have to be absolute cutting edge with your builds and your timings. You have to know basically everything about this game in order to compete at the highest level. There's no just, you know, mastering a couple builds and throwing in some cheese and then there you go. You've got a tournament winning player. You have to understand everything about this game. You need to know each matchup inside and out. And I hope that these guys keep on practicing. Some of these older players that have been around for a long time, I want to see more of them come back. I want to see more new players as well. People who are willing to master, to take the time to master such an old game, such a storied game, are few and far between. And we've got Jaedong here, who, another one of those Kespa era players that has made a comeback, struggling to regain that former glory. We'll see how he does here against Best. If he can take down Best, I definitely give him a little bit of an advantage, just considering how Best has played in his most recent appearances. But Jaedong's been struggling as well, man. He's been having a tough time. He's starting off here with 3 bases. He popped 6 lings early and didn't get anything done except forcing 2 cannons, which I feel like is actually beneficial for Best here, because these lings are really not going to do anything. They might be able to deny this probe, but they're going to do very little here. You'd love to have drones instead. And I mean, Best got 2 cannons. That's fine, man. These 2 cannons are gonna keep him safe and probably deter Jaedong from actually going for any sort of Hydra bust later on. I think Best is in a good situation. He can very confidently get his second base mine. He can tech up here. He knows that his opponent has somewhat slowed down his own economy by getting that early pool and those 6 lings. So he should be in a good spot here. He's already got the Stargate going. Let's see if we do have a layer here. Yes, the layer is on the way. So Jaedong on track with that. The first Zealot here out on the map. Shouldn't get too much done since we did have those early lings. This is the only thing that these lings can really be used for, is dealing with an early Zealot like this. So I'm surprised that Best sent this out, considering he knew that these 6 lings were produced. And it will die without getting any damage whatsoever. So Jaedong definitely taking a victory in that regard. Adding on a couple more lings, actually. Probably unnecessary here, but he will have about 8 lings here for the next couple of Zealots that move across the map. Citadel on the way. Best playing it out normally. I'm not liking his position as much anymore. Look at Jaedong spreading out his lings. This is typical Jaedong. So good at splitting his units covering all different locations. Look at the red just spreading out all over the map to try and detect any stray zealots out in this very wide map. We are on Allegro. Has a huge center area. Tons of different pathways that zealots can take to cross the map and search for overlords. Look like the Hydralisk Den is already done here. He gets an early Hydra out as well, so a little bit surprised with that quick lair that he didn't actually go for the Spire. That would be the normal play. Maybe he thought that his lair was a little bit too late, that he wasn't going to be able to... Uh-oh, this is not good. Jaedong not paying attention to his lings. I guess he thought that his Spire was going to be too late to keep his overlords alive, so he decided to go directly into Hydralisk Den, and I wonder if he'll go quick Lurker here. Otherwise, the lair really doesn't make any sense. He's got Evo Chambers finishing up. More hatcheries coming out as well. What's going to be the tech path here for Jaedong? Not having that Spire is going to hinder him quite a lot here, because the Corsairs can move freely and deny overlords from certain locations. If a DT walks into this third base, for instance, Jaedong might be in a lot of trouble. He doesn't have overlord speed. He doesn't have Scourge to push these Corsairs away, so unless he's got an overlord popping out at that location right on time, he's going to be in a bit of trouble. There is the overlord at the third base now, so a little bit more safety here from Jaedong. He also has that speed. Good choice to grab that speed. If you don't have speed overlords and you don't have Scourge to push away the Corsairs, you're very, very vulnerable to DT drops and DT attacks. DT Corsair, very strong, old school style of playing Protoss versus Zerg. Initially created and made popular by Bisu, but it's been used by many Protoss over the years to net quick wins off of Zerg players, to avoid those big mid-game battles with Storm and everything. Sometimes you can just get in there with the DTs and Corsairs, push away the overlords, and then start to kill drones. Things get out of control very quickly after that. I guess here's your answer, guys. Lurkers being produced over in the top right-hand corner, but the way that he's producing these and the place that he's producing them in is making me feel that he's going to go for Lurker drops here. He did get the very early overlord speed. It's completely possible that Jaedong has also gone for drop here, and that he'll be dropping in the back of best base and trying to run some lurkers into his natural mineral line. A cannon is being produced in the in the main mineral line here for best, so that'll help out a lot. I'd love to see him produce or throw a few Hydras in an Overlord as well. If he throws a Hydra, like 4 Hydras into an Overlord and drops that along with the 2 Lurkers, he could just kill these cannons and then drop the Lurkers there. 2 more cannons being produced, bringing the total up to 4 cannons, 2 in each mineral line. So that really puts a damper on this strategy from Jaedong. I guess he's just going to drop here in the main. No, he loses the Overlord and the Lurker immediately. That is brutally painful. Just dropping a Lurker in the main base and starting to hit gateways would have been better than losing both Lurkers immediately. He is in the front here, dealing some damage, but Zealots have managed to sneak out and get around the map, killing off some drones, and Hydras here in the main, and Natural is going to split off his Zealots and start to target down drones, as many as he can. Meanwhile, at the front, Storms are defending best here, keeping him alive. Some more drones going to come down or go down in the main base, it looks like. And Best is starting to push out while there's distraction on the map. A great storm on the left-hand side there. And Jaedong will have to retreat. Awesome multitasking here by Best to send in that distractionary Zealot run-by in order to take the attention away from the front of the natural, giving him an easy opportunity to push out here and clear away Jaedong's slight contain there at the front. He's gonna go after a Dragoon or two. Kills off this probe as well. Looks like, nope, the probe is gonna survive. Okay, probe stays alive here. He's running right on top of this Dragoon, making sure he can get that kill. And will run back now. Jaedong losing some overlords somewhere in the action there. Down to 84 of 70. So can't really produce anything right now. Instead, he's just adding on a fourth base. This could really screw over Jaedong, actually. He is completely supply blocked. Oh, finally does break the supply barrier. He's got 1,300 gas. He'd love to make some more lurkers, I think. Got to use up some of that gas, but yeah, he can only make 5 lurkers because of this continued supply block here. This is a crazy long supply block. It's hurting Jaedong really, really bad. Finally, he does manage to add on enough overlords that he can continue to produce, but he loses his 4th base. Painful, painful stuff there for our Zerg player, but he's managed to move around this army just enough so that he can get into position to delete this 4th base, or 3rd base, excuse me, of Best. Oh, great storm. All of these lurkers taking huge damage there. Looks like the Corsairs will be focused down this probe as well. Jaedong needs to get out of here, or maybe pick up with the Overlord and drop in the main. That would be nice as well. No, all of these Hydras are going to get caught in this little corner here. Jaedong trying to split off as best he can. Maybe pick up. Is he going to pick up? I'd love to see him pick up and drop in the main just for a bit of a distraction. Instead, he's going to bring some units from behind. Is met with a storm and backs away. Jaedong in a bit of a tough spot. I believe he just loaded up there. Not going to go into the main. Come on, man. Go into the main. Why not? Go, go, go. There we go. As the army comes up, he will load up once again. Just hide that Overlord. He knows there's no Corsairs left over, so that's going to be safe for now. Spire coming down now for Jaedong. He's droning up once again. Getting that economy going. He's going to be throwing down his 4th base here momentarily. And continuing to harass here with the Hydralisk. Can he actually get in here and maybe kill off a cannon or two? No, the army here is really good position. Wait a second. Best moving everything over to the right-hand side to deal with this drop. Lurkers get into pretty decent spots here. Only 3, though. Not really enough to make much of a difference. This army should be able to just walk over this. Yeah, Jaedong realizes it. He's just going to back away. That 4th base is his main priority right now. As Best secures his 3rd base, though, things are going to even out. Jaedong in position to deny a possible 4th base at the bottom center from Best. But as he committed too many units to that location, they're not going to be very helpful for him. If Best decides to take the center right, and he will take the center right, just grabbing that Nexus as he pushes out towards the upper left, or upper right, excuse me. Maybe looking for a fight coming in from the east. A drone just heading over this direction. That's going to be the first notice, or the first scout that manages to catch this army from Best that's moving over towards the left-hand side here. Jaedong scrambling to get lurkers into position. He's on this high ground now, but is it going to be enough? The observer's just flying in here. Yeah, he does back away. Best realizes he will end up getting surrounded if he tries to run up that ramp and commit too many forces to that location. A bunch of mutas being popped out here. Finally using some of that gas. Jaedong should be going for some Templar kills here. Quick snipes on those Templar to hopefully thin out those numbers, limit the number of storms that are available, and try to take a victory on the ground afterwards. Lurker's going to defend here at the third base. But the army from Jaedong has been kind of trapped here. All these Lurkers are on top of each other. The storms are coming. Has to run away from this. Best takes a huge victory here in the middle of the map on Allegro. That high ground has been claimed, and Best is running wild here, heading up towards the fourth base. Can he actually push for a kill on that fourth? Looks like Best just going to back off for now. Not ready to take that fight. He's got his own fourth base on the way, going for the storms. Picks off 2 of the Templar. Jaedong taking only a tiny bit of storm damage onto those mutas. Great pickoffs there so far, but he's got to get more if he wants to make these mutalisks worth it. Big storm on all of the mutas there. Another couple of good storms. Gonna make a... Oh, really good job with the mutas picking off another Templar before it can make an Archon. More and more storms have been used, so very limited number of storms on these Templar in the army for Best. But Jaedong is not actually ready to take a fight here. Nice pick off on that Templar. Very low HP. Mutas just barely flying out of this area. I think that Best actually did more damage with his own storm to his own Templar there than those mutas were doing. I think only 2 or 3 mutas in that group, so I don't know if he could have picked that off if the Templar hadn't stormed itself, actually. Another base coming up here for Jaedong. Going up to 5 bases. This game is getting longer and longer, but neither player has secured another main just yet. Only snagging bases that are a little bit more accessible, a little bit more defendable in the 4 sides of the map. Now he's coming up towards this high ground here. This 12 o'clock base is under threat. All the lurkers have been killed already, and Jaedong gonna look for a counterattack, it seems. Instead of going to surround and kill this army, he's going to send his own forces straight across the map, try to pick off this base here in the center. Only 3 cannons defending that. He should be able to get it, but how much will he lose on the other side as a result? Whoa! 8 cannons on high ground. This looks like one of my games when I'm playing against Protoss. How many cannons can you put on high ground here? I feel like that's not even worth it. Maybe it's fine if he manages to keep that alive. And simultaneously break here into the natural. Kind of a base tradey situation going on, but Jaedong's not making any progress. He's just going to turn around and head back home. Whereas Best is pushing up here towards the main base. Main base is going down. Jaedong in trouble here. He's losing a ton of drones. He's losing a ton of production as well. He's got more bases out on the map, but he's lost everything at the 12 o'clock. He's lost everything, including the hatch at the third base. And now Best is up inside the main with a ton of Dragoons. You cannot push up this ramp. This ramp is unpushable. And Jaedong just heads back across the map. He's wasted so much time running back home here. He wasted all this time running from the natural of Best all the way back to his main base just to turn around and head all the way back across the map. These cannons have actually finished up for Best at 6 o'clock. If Jaedong had just gone directly towards the 6, he could have denied this base, but he didn't. He didn't deny that base, and now Best is mining happily here on 2 bases. He's got the center right and the bottom center. The other 2 have already mined out. So I think Jaedong made some serious errors in this base trade situation. I can't blame him though, because it is such a hard thing to do, to deal with action going on both sides of the map. Jaedong taps out. He gives up. Ooh, that was a rough one to lose. Jaedong, he had a decent position things were going pretty well, he decided to just go full on counterattack rather than try to fight the army of Best. You can see that may have been a mistake. I'm not sure how things would have went if he tried to surround that army and kill it at his 12 o'clock. Maybe things would have went better. Maybe if he attacked into 6 and dealt with that base, might have been in a recoverable situation. But Best played it out very, very nicely. He was decisive. He took the fight to the Zerg. He got up there in the main. He defended well with a huge amount of cannons at his 4th base and his 5th. And he managed to hang on there against Jaedong. Really nice play so far from Best. Let's see who he's up against. Game number 3. Hey, what's up, guys? It's been almost a week since I recorded the last video. Or actually, excuse me, the last game from this video. Been a bit of a banger, boys. Quite a week indeed. I quit my job on Tuesday for various reasons. Not gonna really go into it, I guess. I was working a construction job, and I was hoping that I could work there until I leave Canada in October, but various circumstances, certain events occurred, and I felt like I just couldn't stay there anymore. Anyway, so I quit my job. I've been hanging out at home, doing some stuff around here, trying to apply for new jobs. It's been kind of a whirlwind. I found a potential video editing job that I might end up getting. We'll see. But that's like basically that would basically be perfect. I've been working on it pretty hard this week, or past couple of days, so a lot's been going on, and I've been neglecting you guys. I'm so sorry. It'll never happen again, I promise. We are going to be a bit behind here in the KCM for the next couple of weeks. I'll try to get this other video out. It is Canada Day. Well, it's Canada Day yesterday. And Canada Day weekend is pretty darn busy. It's July 1st. So the sun is finally out. It's been raining so much here, and the sun is finally out. Everyone's out boating and doing all the fun summery stuff that can be done here in Canada. Trying to get it all done, cram it all in as quickly as possible before it starts snowing again, because you know that's coming soon. So it's gonna be busy, but I will try my very best to keep up with KCM from here on out. Our next game here is going to be Sharp versus Best. Best had a awesome game. That last game with Jaedong. A sweet long Protoss versus Zerg was a lot of fun. I took a look at it again before I started recording this game. It was freaking sweet, man, and I hope we get another great game here. Best versus Sharp is a classic matchup. Sharp is a fantastic player, very aggressive Terran, one of the most aggressive in this matchup, particularly a matchup that generally Terran players get punished for being overly aggressive, but Sharp tends to make it work. No fast Nexus or anything like that so far from Best, although we are on this very large map. It is polypoid. No doubt a map that these players are very well acquainted with, so they've got their strategies mapped out. And so far, Sharp just playing it out pretty normal. Getting his bunker up here right in time to defend this Dragoon. No pressure from Zealots or anything. And we'll see what Best decides to do from here. He's got a robo down. He sees everything at the front. He's going to have his range finishing up here. And there it is. Going to start to deal that damage to the bunker. Will have to be repaired. This does cost Sharp a little bit of money. Also, the loss of mining time is a bit painful. But he's going to be fine here. Second gateway's on the way, so I'm not sure just yet what Best has in mind. But he will have quite a bit of units out in the early game. He's going to have that Reaver and Shuttle. Some potential for damage here on the Terran side of the map. That was a bit weird. Excuse me. Bit of a glitch in the matrix there as those Dragoons came forward. Not sure what was going on, but Africa TV video lagged for a second, and Sharp backed off quickly enough so he doesn't end up losing that tank. There's got to be very careful now. There are 4 Dragoons out here in the front. 2 shot a tank. 4 Dragoons, 2 shot a tank, excuse me. So he's got to be very, very particular and careful with the movement of that tank. Sending out the barracks is a little scary. I guess this would be able to pull back in time, but you really don't want to lose that barracks. Losing that barracks right now would be very, very painful because you absolutely need... Ooh, coming out with the tank to try to keep that barracks in high HP. Pretty dangerous moves there from Sharp. But if you lose that barracks, like I was saying, you can't produce a second factory, and that second factory needs to come up here shortly. Sharp sitting on 1 barracks. Or excuse me, 1 factory. Oh god. Sitting here on 1 factory. Guys, I take a few days off and I completely forget the names of the buildings. This is pretty pathetic. The factory, that second factory does need to come down soon. He's gone armory, single factory armory. He's adding on turrets now, but the shuttle is already here with the Reaver. Gonna get some damage in the back, no doubt. SCV pull is very quick. Looks like he will... Oh! What? 2-3 kills there already. I did not expect that to connect on the ramp there. It looks like he's gonna get another shot off here. Another couple of kills. That first zealot will be picked off. But Best going to look for more damage here. Oh, that mine though. Beautiful mine connection there. I still haven't seen the number of kills on this Reaver. I doubt we'll actually end up finding out how many kills are on this unless he drops it outside of the main here. Looks like Best will escape. A good bit of damage from that first Reaver. Definitely Best getting the better of that trade. Of course, he would have liked to do a little bit more to not take that mine hit on his Reaver, but the Reaver is still alive. It's still going to be useful here in the mid game, and SCVs were killed, so Sharp has been slowed down here, and Best has to be feeling good. He's taking his 3rd base. That second factory now coming up. Starport on the way, so we know for a fact Sharp will be planning to snag a 3rd base here quickly. He's not going to commit to any sort of huge attack here in the mid game. He's going to power up, grab his 3rd base, and take things into a late stage TVP. Another Reaver pops out. Best gonna head back across the map. Just going to, I think, keep these Reavers on high ground outside the 3rd base. Try to slow Sharp down as he moves to take that 3rd. Science facility is on the way. Sharp will be able to get his +2 upgrade rolling here. Best just trying to be annoying at the front as he builds up his probe count and starts to throw down those additional gateways, get that economy rolling here. So far, Sharp has not gotten out on the map. A little bit awkward for Sharp. There we go, finally getting out here. Oh, 2 duds there on those 2 scarabs. The first few vultures actually managing to get out now finally. Oh, he's gonna run by? Not quite able to. Picks off a probe, and Best already prepared to block this vulture over here at the 3rd base. So as I was saying, uncharacteristic early game here from Sharp. hasn't been able to deal any damage with his patented vulture play. This man usually finds a way to get to the probes, man. He is so good at getting in with his vultures, and he is only now running around the map with a single vulture at 10 minutes into the game, playing a very conservative style here. A bit different than what we're used to, so let's see what he can do with this. Bringing out his tanks. 10-minute mark is going to be the opportune time, I suppose. Sharp has decided it's time to take that third base. He's setting up on the high ground behind the third base there in the back of the main. Getting some tanks in that location. Preparing to snag this base here, but is he moving too quickly? Best has a ton of zealots rallying across the map right now. He's got a couple of shuttles at least. And this big army just sitting to the east of Sharp's main. He's ready to break in here if Sharp decides to take this base. He's going to wait for a little bit as the command center builds in the main. Try to do some vulture run-bys across the map as well. Sharp is taking this nice and slow. I like to see it. Really slowing things down. He's kind of identified that Best is prepping to break Sharp here if he takes this base too quickly. He's also identified Best doesn't have a bunch of other bases being taken right now. He's clear at the bottom right-hand corner. He's got a vulture down there, making sure that no sneak bases come down from Best. Best is snagging his own mineral-only base. But he's very conservative in his expanding strategy here. Just slowly taking bases, keeping one step ahead of his Terran opponent. The moment that that third base is done for Sharp, the fourth will be ready on the side of Best. Here's a tank plus vulture drop down in the third base of Best. He does have the shuttle, so he can drop out a bunch of zealots here, pick off this tank, no problem. Unfortunately, though, the cannon has already been killed. The probes are gonna have to surround here and try to finish this off. But where is the other shuttle? He really needs the... He really needs the Reaver over here, because the zealots are just not gonna cut it. These additional vultures get rallied up here into the third base, gonna start to pick off a ton of probes, not running away either. Best is losing so much. He drops off 2 Dragoons, but every probe just about ends up going down at that third base. Wow, brutal economic damage, and that's Sharp for you, man. He always finds a way in. Even at the 13-minute mark, he can still manage to get some damage done with his vultures, kill off a bunch of probes, and hamper his Protoss opponent. And now he's cleared Best off of that high ground. He's finally given himself some space to take that third base. Best is now rotating over towards that area, though. He's got to be very careful. Sharp gonna try to take the up high ground there. His +2 is done. +2/+1 is ready. The first few Templars are starting to pop out here for Best. He's gonna have Storm here shortly. And Sharp has yet to take that third base. Really taking it slow here. He's reached 160 supply. He's going for another drop in the main base of Best. Best is prepped and ready to take this fight at that Terran third, but is he ready to defend the base over here? Defend the main? There's a tank here in the main, gonna start to target down some of these probes. Best is not paying attention. He's losing so many probes back at home. Instead, he's just gonna pull the trigger and attack straight up into Sharp's army. The Dragoons and Zealots are mostly just attacking this command center. Zealots just falling in. Ooh, beautiful storms on those tanks though on the right-hand side. He's actually breaking right up here towards the natural, completely ignoring all of the damage that's going on in his base, throwing everything into this attack here at the natural. Now, the third base was killed. He's lost a ton of probes, or probes back at home, excuse me. Gonna lose even more here at this mineral only as well. How many probes do we have left over at the end of this? I'm not sure who's actually in the lead right now. I feel like Sharp lost a lot there. His entire tank count was reset. He lost his command center as well, but look at this main base. No probes. This fourth base, 6 probes. I think his third down at the center right, I'm only seeing like about 5, 6 little blue dots moving back and forth. He is so low on this economy. Only 129 supply to 109. Best is struggling here, but he's still in somewhat of a controlling position. He's sitting outside of the Terran natural. He's holding Sharp back here, but Sharp still has a great economy, man. He's still got 2 bases that are mining heavily. It's not going to last for much longer. His 2 bases are fully saturated and have been for a long time. He has to get another base here shortly or he will mine out. But he's still able to fully produce. I'm not sure I can say the same about Best. He's desperately trying to remake these probes back at home, as well as the army. See if he can take this fight here. It looks like he's ready to pull the trigger once again. Best just gonna run straight forward. No mines in front of this army. Ooh, that was a pretty good mine connection. 2 great storms there on the front lines. There's still a ton of tanks in the back here. A beautiful storm on that right-hand side. Group of vultures. The Archons are taking a lot of damage, and another round of Zealots are going to make their way up onto these tanks. These tanks going to get surrounded here. It looked like Sharp was about to hold, but then this last round of Zealots makes its way into the natural and finishes off those last 4 tanks. He's going to prevent another base from going down here, and Sharp is 1 step closer to mining out completely. Best is looking to be just in a better and better situation here. He's just rallying the Zealots across the map. He will end up eating some of these mines, it looks like. But with this next round of Zealots, I think he can just crush these last few tanks and close this game out. GG. Sharp taps out Best. Is the victor with 3 kills so far, carrying Protoss through this week of KCM. Best, what a beast. All right, on to our next game, this time on Metaverse. On to bigger and better things, guys. Just like me, Best has moved on. He threw Sharp aside. A little bit of trouble, a little bit of struggle, but he camped him in his base. Didn't allow him to expand out to grab that third. Just put the pressure on Sharp's side of the map. I think Sharp did the right thing, sending drops out when your opponent has the majority of their army sitting right in front of your natural. It means they don't have much back at home. A good opportunity to send out a drop, deal a lot of damage. He did a good job, but he ended up getting broken over and over, and eventually ran out of money. So we've got Best versus Soma now. Soma spawning here in the top right hand corner of Metaverse. Best over in the top left. Horizontal spawns here. Best sending out 2 probes. Is this going to be for a cannon rush here? It is completely a possibility. He did build a forge expansion here, so we'll see if Best wants to throw down a couple of pylons. If he's gonna try and fake this, or if he's actually gonna go for it. 2 probes show up in your natural. You know that something is up here. Doing a good job fighting these drones so far. Oh, there we go. 1 pylon goes down. Another pylon could fall at any second. Where is he? Is he gonna throw it down? What? No pylon. Hello? Okay, kills 1 drone. 1 drone. 2 drone. 2 drone. 2 drone. Okay. Just gonna cancel. 2 drones for 2 probes. That is pretty good for Best, I feel. Best, not gonna be too unhappy with that trade, but I feel like he could have thrown down a pylon there, man. Where was the pylon? He definitely had the cash for it. Throw down a pylon, try to get a cannon out. Can go for a lot more than just 2 probes, but Best does some good focusing with the probes, picks off those drones. And I guess we're just going to continue on into a normal game from here. The extractor coming down. Back at home. Gateway cannon. 3rd base at the bottom right. Soma is taking the natural base down there at the bottom right, which is very interesting. Not really typical move here for Soma. Generally, when we think about Soma, we think about a more aggressive Zerg player, but taking this natural base down in the bottom right, it signals to us a bit of a change in his mentality here this game. Oh, whoa, he was trying to block there, but that Zergling just moved right out of the way, let him in. Yeah, grabbing that natural base in the bottom right, it signals that Soma wants to grab this base. He wants to set up a very strong defensive position down in the bottom right, snag a quick 4th in the bottom right main, and then possibly even grab that 5th base in between the 2. This is Metaverse. After all, there are stacked temples in your natural that allows you, once you kill them or mine out the minerals that are next to them, to take an additional base in that center right or center left. So we'll see if Soma actually wants to go for that, or is this kind of a fake out? Is he hoping that Best will just spot that location? Think that's what the strategy is going for, and then he's going to end up getting Hydra busted. We're not sure just yet. We'll have to watch and find out. Soma so far just popping out a bunch of lings, getting prepared for that first zealot that's inevitably going to come across the map for the harassment. Stargate is now done. Spire is on the way. The timing here looks like, I think Best is in a good spot to kill at least a couple of overlords here. We'll see. We'll see if he gets 1 or 2. I might be thinking, I might have the timings messed up in my head here, but I think he can come over. He can check the whole of Soma's base. He misses that 1 overlord just outside of the main, but he's gonna take a look through the main natural. He's gonna see the sort of plan here, and I think that he can actually get this an overlord kill here if he finds one within the next few seconds. That Spire just about going to finish up. You know that Soma is ready to start producing those Scourge the moment that that finishes. And yeah, he hasn't spotted an overlord just yet. He does finally find one, but it's too late. There's going to be a pair of Scourge morphed here at the 3rd in just a couple of seconds. And then he should be able to keep that alive. But he sees the location of this 3rd base. He knows what's up. Soma's basic plan has been revealed. He actually will get this overlord, surprisingly. Soma goes ahead and snags the 4th already. Scourge are out. Here they come. This will not be killed. Ooh, some good dodging there by Best. I don't think he can get out of this situation, though. Whoa! Amazingly, He does manage to avoid that. 2 more Scourge have moved to intercept. Diving on top of the cannon here. Soma snags one of those, but won't get much more. Looks like the interception was almost perfect there from Soma. Some more good dodging. Finally does pick off that Corsair. Maybe he can find this other one as well. Main base does have a cannon. Corsairs will coalesce here in the main base and hold off any additional Scourge. And so Soma will back off after getting a nice scout on there. Look at this building positioning. It is beautiful, isn't it? Those of you who are Zerg players out there thinking about how you can SimCity on Metaverse, take a look at Soma's build here. Take a look at the building positioning. Look at how beautiful it is. How can you ever break through this? I mean, one Zealot able to deal damage to this sunken colony, and Soma blocks it perfectly with the drones. You're never going to be able to break in there. A couple of mutas pop out as well. Just 2 sunkens at each base is going to be enough to hold off everything here for him best. Whatever he can throw out. He's sent a DT though. Now the DT could be the play here. He's produced quite a lot of Corsairs. He sends these Corsairs down towards the bottom right and possibly picks off some Overlords. DT could get in and sneak up into the 4th base, potentially dealing a lot of damage. We'll see how that goes. Best is moving through the map now. Some Zealots just being chased here by these Scourge, keeping an eye on them. Here comes the engagement down here at the bottom right, going for the first Overlord. There's only a few Hydras here, and they'll be busy dealing with these Zealots, so very easy pickoffs on the Overlords here if Best wanted to go for them. Single Mutalisk. Just gonna take almost 90% of its health in damage and then move away. Ooh, 1 connection so far. Couple more connections. Huge hits from Soma. Nice job with the Scourge, dealing a ton of damage. He's even produced some spores here. That very reliable detection is going to deter Best for the moment. He's not going to be able to get in with his DTs. Even if he kills every Overlord, the spores will still be available to detect. No spore down at the bottom right, though. This is a beautiful setup from Soma. He's powering up like crazy. You can see his supply is still 20 behind his opponent, but that is going to change very quickly here as he switches production over into Hydralisks. The drone number has almost finished rising here. He has a good number of drones in the main, natural, and 3rd. Just needs a few more down here at the 4th base, and then he can begin his production in earnest. A hive should be started here for Soma shortly as well. And what is Best planning to do, man? He lost so much after producing all of those Corsairs. To lose them to Scourge in such a manner is very, very painful. He's really got to be feeling that one. So much wasted gas, man. And Best looks like he wants to move across the map. Maybe take a fight as he takes his 3rd base. Maybe try to break into the natural. But Soma reacting to this very well. Already adding on a ton of sunken colonies. He's even producing mutas as well. Maybe to get pickoffs on some of these Templar. Just reduce the number of storms available. Best snags a base at the center left. He's double expanding right now. He's posturing out here in the middle of the map with this big army, holding this high ground area. But I don't think he actually wants to attack. Now that I've seen another base being taken here, The plan is not to assault the Zerg at this point. Huge group of mutas heading into the main base. There's only a few Corsairs left alive, so these two cannons alone are not going to be enough. He's trying to attack the front at the same time. He flies into the main. These two cannons are going down immediately. Hydras are getting caught here by the main army, but so many probes are going down in the main base. Does he have an Archon or something to hold on? Best is choosing to do a counterattack here. This might be falling directly into Soma's trap, though. He's already built a ton of lurkers. He's got so many sunken colonies available. He may be able to hold off this army and then eventually surround. Wow, this is a really tight area, though. Big storm here. Another great storm on all of these lurkers on the right-hand side. He needs one more good storm. He's trying to get it right now. There we go. Another great storm there. Zealots are making their way forward, but the Dragoon number is starting to fall here. There's not too many Zealots left over otherwise, as well, so Soma gonna bring up the rear here, coming up from this left-hand side, gonna surround the army, bringing back the mutas as well. He kills off everything. GG, Best taps out, and Soma is victorious. All right, finally Best gets shut down by Soma. It was a great game, though. I really dig the strategy there by Soma, making it kind of a wall out of Zerg buildings, making sure that he is super well defended, and then quickly switching into a huge amount of Mutalisk after killing off those Corsairs, taking on the main base. I mean, there was no real reason why Best had to attack at that moment, except for he was getting ravaged in his main base. If I think if Soma would have just stayed back or tried to fight with Best on the ground there, I think Best just hangs back. He uses his storms very carefully. He fights with his army, and he takes 4 bases, and then he's in a great position. He can fight 4 base to 5 base against Soma, no problem. Can take it into a very nice long game. There's a lot more play there, but Soma, without ever attacking directly with his main army, baits Best into an all-in assault there on his natural and takes the win. Very nicely played. Soma now going up against Rush here in cross-map positions. This is a Revolver. And Rush, we'll see what he brings out for the Terrans. Terran almost out of this week of KCM already. Last player here. He gets eliminated. Terran is done for this week. It'll just be straight PvZ for the rest of these games. So, hoping that he manages to put on a good showing here. Soma looks like he's going for very standard play so far. It's looking very 2-hatch muta-y right now. And I wouldn't expect anything less from him. Rush moving out on the map with his Marines as well. Switching out his scouting SCV, making sure that he has a good, healthy SCV. Heading up to the main base. Whoa! Soma gets the surround there. Nicely done. That was an SCV on a mineral move command towards the main base, so that was meant to guarantee the scout in the main for Rush. But it ends up getting shut down, and now Rush has no idea what's going on. He doesn't have a bunker here, and there are a ton of Lings coming across the map. The speed came down early, and I think this is going to be a potential run in and surround on all these Marines. There we go. Gets the pretty decent surround, but great micro here from Rush. He backs off that one group while continuously raining down fire with the second group of Marines that was tucked just a little bit behind there, and easily takes that fight. Now Soma has wasted a ton building up into those lings and trying to deal that damage. He hasn't really done enough here, and Rush is sitting pretty right now. I mean, look at how many drones there are for Soma. 1 drone mining minerals at that natural. He's still making lings, by the way. More and more lings popping out here. He's gonna try kill off a few more Marines here if possible. If he can kill off a few more Marines, then maybe his Mutalisk can do something when they arrive. He's gonna go for a 2-pronged attack again, runs right in, gets a pretty good surround on these front few Marines. He's going after them, targeting nicely, but the medics healing up everything, and the retreating lings get gunned down before they can escape. Oh, pain here for Soma, and Rush is looking so good. Soma with just 1 Mutalisk, sharking around the Terran base, taking a look. Can tell you right now, he does not like what he sees. It is a Terran base locked up tight with more and more turrets being produced. Rush knows that Soma has very little options, and this is one of the few and one of the most crazy options that you can go for, which is a Queen's Nest in this situation. He's gonna try and rely completely on his micro here with these few mutas. Try to pick off as many Marines as he can. Try to get some economic damage going as well. Keep Rush back and go directly into Hive. Get a Defiler out with some lurkers and just break and win the game right here, right now. If this doesn't work, Soma is dead. He is DED because Rush is in such a good situation. He's pumping out tons more Marines. He's got a lot of saturation on his natural. He's been adding on barracks here. He is not afraid of anything right now. He's moving out on the map. This is a time when Soma with this build should be just forcing Rush to hide in his base, but he has been able to do no such thing. He's even trading mutas for Marines right now, something that he kind of has to do to try and reduce this Marine count and force Rush back into his base if possible. Otherwise, he'll never be able to get the Defiler to run across the map. Another great target there. Rush just so on point with his Marine control as usual. His Marine count is getting pretty darn out of control. He's just about doubling his opponent's supply here. Getting reduced a bit. Rush losing quite a few Marines there, but it's fine to trade right now. He's getting into his starports. He will have... Whoa, what's this? An armory. Is he actually planning to build into Valkyrie here? I think he might be. He may have actually misread the situation. Uh-oh. Making 2 sunken colonies because Soma just doesn't really know where that other group of Marines is on the map. Coming in now, dealing a little damage here and there. He does manage to clear out the turrets around the barracks, but Rush gonna come back in, get the turrets up and running once again. The Marines are still fighting here by the barracks. This returning group of Marines is here to save the day as well. And GG, Soma taps out. Rush takes the victory and keeps Terran alive in this week of KCM. Well. Snow hops onto Eclipse here to face down Rush. Rush spawning in the top right-hand corner. Snow in the bottom left. He's sending that probe out, of course, for the gas steal. Pretty standard on this map. I'm feeling this lineup now, guys. We've got Rush, Snow, Mini, and Soul Key. That is a deadly set of players. Gonna have some great games here. before this weekend's gateway on high ground. Of course, that pylon is positioned so that you can place buildings on that low ground, so a little surprising he doesn't throw the gateway down there, but goes ahead and drops it on the high ground, and will snag that gas. Of course, Rush has played this situation out plenty of times, I am sure. Not feeling worried about taking on Rush, even if he gets the gas steal off. He's dealing a lot of damage to this SCV, though. Oh, that SCV. Trying to keep that thing alive. That probe also getting very low, only 6 HP left. So only about 2-3 hits away from death. Nice hold by Rush. Not taking too much damage. Not being forced off the line too much. Ooh, almost getting that surround. Back at home, Snow. Progressing normally. Although he hasn't thrown down his... Yeah, he hasn't actually thrown down his gas yet, which has got to be a big tell here for Rush, who manages to get in the base. He knows that you got to be throwing down your Nexus here pretty quick, but this has got to be one Zealot into a Nexus. Actually, second Zealot does pop out, so 2 Zealot into Nexus. 8 HP on the SCV. And you're gonna finally catch this SCV and picks it off. Snow gonna throw down that natural. And a bunker is complete. Run by? No. No run by. Only 1 Marine in that bunker, so he could absolutely run by here. Try to stop the command center from being finished. But for now, Snow just gonna wait. That second Zealot will make its way over here pretty soon. And then maybe he wants to make a run by with the 2 Zealots together. Yeah, he will. Ooh, he sees the SCVs on the ramp, though. Rush completely prepared for that play. And Snow just gonna back away. Let that one go. And Rush just going to poke out here. Take a look at what is sitting out in front of his natural. And go ahead and throw that Marine back in the bunker. Second gateway here. Pretty late gas from Snow, so I guess I understand getting the second gateway before a robo or anything like that. Snow hasn't picked up his range just yet, but he should be investing into that shortly. Finally, the natural is done. Both players mining off their respective naturals at about the same time. And we're gonna get into a nice mid game here, guys. No serious damage has been done on either side. We get a nice Eclipse game. Let's talk a little bit more about the map. This can be a very difficult map for Terran to snag a third base. The distance between your natural and your third is very long. It requires you to spread your tanks out uncomfortably thin in order to take that third base. Of course, once you get it, it is a decent spot. Gives you a bit of added protection. You can put some turrets up in there. And once you've got the left-hand side covered and you got a bunch of turrets in your natural, then you're more or less safe from recalls making their way into your main. Of course, you've always got to be careful about the center as well. Some Protoss players are just absolute rat bastards. They'll just fly their Arbiter directly over where these Zealots are now. Fly straight up into your main and recall that direction. So you do have to control the front as well, but makes it a little easier when you have your third base that is kind of helping you to defend your main once it's secured. It's like range. Still not quite done here for Snow. Tank is already out, so not going to get any of that extra damage. Oh, hold on. He does end up getting that. The siege mode finishes, though. And this will be pushed back very, very quickly. A third base on the way here for Snow. From the Protoss perspective, this map can be very scary. Splitting the map here, it happens quite a lot if you allow the Terran player to get that third. Then they eventually get the fourth base. And if they manage to snag the top left, even if you have the two bottom right-hand corner bases, although they have more minerals and gas overall, it's very, very tough to win a game in a split map against Terran. So you want to prevent the game from going on that long. You want to deal with the Terran player, kill the Terran player before it reaches a point like that. So it'll be up to Snow to find that breaking point, to find that hole in the armor where he can just shove his little side blade in there, rip out this Terran heart. Take a few vultures, make their way around the right-hand side. Nice slip out there by Rush. He'll be able to look for some probe damage. Perfect timing here to catch a probe transfer, and he will find probes as they're moving towards the third base. Throwing down some mines in front of these. He's going to get as many probes as he can. About 4 or 5 probes go down. A few more mines get dropped. He won't be able to get up this ramp, though, and into the third base. Instead, he's just going to chill here with one single vulture. And Snow is going to clear that out relatively soon and send his probes to mining. First Reaver is out. Snow's spirit animal. His most favorite unit. One more probe to get picked off there by Rush. Good timing. Meticulous play here from Rush. Hitting his timings nicely. Been throwing down a bunch of factories. It's so necessary on this map. You really can't play a super greedy style here where you get your command center down before you add on your additional factories and then try to take it. Try to expedite that expansion. It's just not going to happen. You need all your factories to be basically all ready and pumping out units before you even think about grabbing your command center. Just very, very hard to hold on this map. So unless your Protoss opponent is like going wild and just expanding everywhere, then in that case you can probably just go and kill them. Unless that's the case, you gotta take this slow here. You have to get your factories out. You have to wait on your 2-1. That's most likely what we're gonna see Rush do in this situation, setting out the dropship. Go ahead and try to deal some damage across the map while Snow is sitting out here, chilling in front of the natural, waiting for Rush's eventual move out, while simultaneously snagging a 4th base. Rush is gonna go ahead and drop here. Nice pylon placement. Gonna discover this drop before it makes its way into the natural. Spotted. See how Snow reacts here. Gets the scan off. Photon cannon is not done again. Rush with the sick timing, getting in here just as the defenses are being placed. Gets about 6 probes, I'd say, and then gets out without any damage on these units. 2 more vultures here in the main. What's he gonna do with this dropship now? Doesn't he have a tank in there as well? Surprised he hasn't dropped a tank out. Just gonna drop out these vultures once again. Deal that extra damage. Tanks are attempting to move forward here, bloating the buildings as well. If you don't know, floating the building is essential in this type of situation as Terran. You want to soak up as much Dragoon fire as you can. Ooh, Snow, uncharacteristic mistake there. Loses 4 Dragoons at the front to Russia's advancing army. He's usually so good at pulling back with his stuff as Terran comes forward. It's really surprising to see him lose that much. And where is his shuttle, actually? Where are the Reavers? This Terran army is just barreling across the map. I'm not sure if this is a mistake or what, but I guess Rush feels like it's possible to make this happen now because he managed to pick off so much before this fight even occurs. He's already got a pretty decent lead, but this is dangerous, man. Rush is just heading across the map. He's been cut off. His reinforcements aren't going to cut it in dealing with these additional forces from Rush. He's going to move back and try to do a pincer move on these Protoss units here. A lot of mines go off and everything just evaporates. Beautifully done there. Snow gonna try and clear these tanks though while they've been left alone here for a little moment. Rush coming up to reinforce though is pushing everything back. He's also snagged his 3rd base, so has an economy behind this. This is not just a push with nothing behind it. There is a plan in place. Rush is pushing forward. He kills off those first few Templar. Their storms were pretty darn good, but they don't manage to net many kills. Arbiter coming forward. He needs his scans to reveal these zealots. Loses quite a few tanks. I think sieging up on the right hand side of this bluff here would be a great plan for Rush, but he's just still charging forward, setting up here in the front. He wants to kill off these pylons and of course the robotic support bay. GG. Wow. Snow taps out and Rush takes the victory. I feel like we missed something there at the front. Those 4 Dragoons died. I think the Reaver went down as well. That drop doing more to distract Snow than we even realized. He lost quite a bit and then wasn't able to hold on to the immediate attack from Rush, who just sensed the blood in the water when those few Dragoons died. Their blue blood enraged him to the point of immediate attack. Rush just runs forward and pokes his opponent to death, apparently. I don't know what that was from KCM. I guess that was the harassment, right? He was harassing Snow. Couldn't pay attention. Lost control of his army. That's the story that I'm going with anyway. Let's go into our next game. Alright guys, quick recap here. Rush just held off the most aggressive Soma that we've seen in a while. Just batted away his attacks and completely crushed him. And then he went up against Snow, literally like our best PV tier, came across the map and just smoked him. Now he's up here going on to his next game against Sulky. This guy, is he stoppable? Is he stoppable right now? An unstoppable force here. Let's see if Sulky can take him down. He's grabbed a 3rd base already. Whoa, what is this build? 3 hatch before pool. That is pretty next level. This is that 3-player map. As I want to remind you, I believe it's called Monopoly. Is that the right one? Is that the right name? Can't quite remember. Not able to keep the SCV out of the main, and Rush is going to get up here and find that Sulky has been a very greedy boy. His pool is still not done. Of course, Rush back at home, he went for a very quick CC as well, but this is next level. Sulky with the 3rd base about to finish up already, and he is just starting to mine on his 2nd base. Rush is Russia's gonna have to take some more liberties here, I feel. Don't really need to produce any more Marines right now. You know there's no pressure coming towards you. Start to just bang out your barracks. Maybe get an early upgrade here. Okay, factory. All right. Gonna get a factory. Maybe you can float to low ground and start to pump out some vultures. Send them over to the third base and get some kills. I think that's the plan here for Rush. We'll see if that ends up working. But yeah, he needs to do something here. He needs to take some sort of liberties. He can't just play a normal game from this position. Sulky has been so greedy and has so little in terms of lings, any sort of defense or attacking units that he shouldn't be able to deal with these vultures as they're coming out. Now, 4 Marines are present. He keeps his SCV alive. Sulky thinks that he's got complete vision of everything that's coming out of Russia's base, but this factory could really throw a wrench into things. Yeah, he's gonna float it over and land to the right here. Sulky dropping his first sunken already. And a barracks coming down. So it's not going to be a transition into... I think it's not going to be anyway. I don't think it's going to be a transition into mech, but he just threw down an armory. Is that for Valkyrie? This is a curious build from Rush. He is taking the liberties that I spoke of earlier. He's already gone into his starport. He's getting a bunch of barracks out. He's teched up rapidly here. Teched up very, very quickly. And he's also throwing down a ton of barracks. It's like he reaches the third base. Not gonna find any damage here. Sulky is completely defended at this location, at his natural as well. He is really tight in his build here. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's got his spire just about to finish up. No third gas just yet, but he can grab that at any time. Spire finishes up. He's going to start to pump out a ton of Mutilas here, and I guess that Rush is just going to go for the Valkyrie. Get the Valkyrie out and completely counter the mutas that are about to be popping. You know, he doesn't really have a lot of turrets. I don't see any turrets here in the main, actually. So 0 turrets in the main. Gonna add a couple onto the natural here. And once he's got about 2 or 3 Valkyries, he should be able to hold off just about any number of muta that Sulky can field here on 3 bases. So Rush, little bit of a gamble. Goes straight up into Valkyries. It's going to pay off here because there are indeed quite a few mutas being produced. The Valkyrie's been revealed, though. It doesn't get a shot off, so I feel like Sulky is not going to mind this too much. He sees the Valkyrie. He knows that there's no science vessel that's going to be popping out soon. And he can just switch. He's already got a Hydralis Den. He can get his... you can just go ahead and get the lurker upgrade here, and a transition. Does not need to rely on mutas for this defense. You can see Hydra's already out. Lurkers will be morphing very soon, and there's plenty of sunken colonies at each base. So I think Sulky gonna be fine here. This is not going to be the killing blow that really Rush needs it to be. There's the lurkers already started, and Rush is gonna have to switch into another plan here. Hive is already on the way. I think it'll have to be sort of a denial game here from Rush. As time goes on here, he'll really have to focus on making sure that Sulky can't get a 4th base. That is the most important thing right now. Just make sure that the 4th base can't come up. You can see a few lurkers moving down the right-hand side. I think they'll end up resting on that high ground potentially, so that Sulky can try to snag a another base here. Great surround and kill on these two lurkers out in the middle. I think those were on hold position. Hold position lurkers. But Sulky spots them out. Sends forward a dropship as well. Interesting. Drop +3 Valkyries should be pretty difficult to hold off. He's spotted it already. There's a few lurkers here in the main, or in the natural anyway. They're gonna make their way into the main, and he's gonna hit from both sides. Lurkers on the high ground, a bunch of mutas coming from the other side. Tanks are out on the field. He needs to scan and find these lurkers. Yeah, he does. He's gonna trap these lurkers in a really tough spot where he can actually kill them both. Looks like these Marines are gonna get in a good spot, spreading out nicely there. A few Marines do go down. Oh, the dropship was left behind though. Rush loses that. That is painful. Tanks are moving up towards this natural now, but no dropship means he can't simultaneously attack the main and natural. This is a pretty desperate play here for Rush. He needs to make this work. He needs to make something happen here. Few lurkers up in the front are going to get picked off. Ooh, that lurker with 8 HP might actually run away. Siege up here in the front. Sulky does not have defilers with Consume just yet. Consume just moments away. Guardians are being produced. Whoa, Guardians against Valkyries seems like a crazy play, but he does pick off one of the Valkyries. Nicely done. Guardians on the left-hand side. Valkyrie's gonna go ahead and meet them, but some Scourge are coming forward. Bad choice, poor choice to send the Valkyries in like that. Ends up losing them all, and now with the Dark Swarm done and the Guardians coming from the left-hand side, there's nothing that Rush can do but back away and give up this position here. Really unfortunate for Rush. He wanted to make something happen at that moment, although Sulky has used a lot of money to sort of get this to get this defense to happen. He made a greater spire, he made all these Guardians, plus he went into Defiler and he used Dark Swarm. Ooh, good surround here, combining the Lings and Guardians to deal a lot of damage. He's gonna get this Science Vessel as well. Great play here from Sulky, making those Guardians worth it. Those Guardians definitely could have dived on them with pure Marine if they hadn't been banked up by that number of Lings. Just a great combination attack there from Sulky, bringing up the Scourge, just icing on the cake, and now he's in like full control of this game. I feel he only has 3 bases, he doesn't have that 4th, so Rush can still try to play out that sort of mini game that's going on the side, is preventing the Zerg from getting that 4th gas. Still definitely a thing here as Rush takes his own 3rd. He even scans and spots this 4th base being taken right as the drone arrives to take that base. So Rush is completely aware of where Sulky wants to take his 4th base, and he can maneuver a lot here in this area. This is not a single ramp with an easily defended location, right? You can't just throw down one Dark Swarm and be fine here. He's gonna need a lot more than that. He even gets a good irradiate there. It's that Defiler. Is he gonna get a Plague? No Plague. Lings make their way into the 3rd base, but will be defended here. Rush looking for a location that he can break right now. Can he get onto that all-important 4th base, prevent it from going down? Another Defiler makes its way forward and should be able to get that Dark Swarm down in time. Oh, good defense there of the Defiler. Keeps that alive, but the 4th base will be targeted here. Rush backing away a little bit. Wants to target down that hatchery, but can't actually do it for the moment. Now he's going to go ahead and target that down. Only 100 HP left. Does finish that off. One tank here in the background, laying down some covering fire. Will end up getting focused, though, by the Lings and Hydra. Ling Hydra going to be the follow-up here for Sulky. Ling Hydra, Lurker, and Defiler. An affordable army that can still be made here on just 3 bases, but not for much longer. Sulky needs to get that 4th base down here pretty soon. Rush getting into his own 3rd is looking crazy strong right now. He's even adding on fire bats as well. Oh, big mistake. These few Guardians running forward end up getting picked off, and now the full force of Sulky's army is being sent southward against this small contingent of Marine Medic, Tank, and Science Vessel. Gotta back away with the Science Vessel. Big indicator of how the Terrans doing in this matchup is how many Science Vessels they managed to keep alive. No Dark Swarm here. Finally, a Dark Swarm does come down, but now is pushed almost all the way back across the map without a single Dark Swarm on the army. +2 armor is done for Sulky, and he's pushing forward quite well. Of course, not doing very well with the Guardians against Marines under Dark Swarm, kind of countering himself there. There was a Lurker under, though, at least. So he managed to hold that back. So many Hydras coming down the left side of the map. There's only 1 tank here. Uh-oh, this could be very painful for Rush. Bringing up the Science Vessels. He needs to get some he needs to get some Irradiates down. Where are the Irradiates? 1 tank's not going to be enough. Sulky just pushing here towards the natural with the Dark Swarm on the natural. He is in big trouble, spreading out the Lurkers, but not in time. GG, Rush taps out. Sulky takes him down. Wow, quite the push there from Sulky, and quite the defense. Going Guardians and Defilers at the same time. I didn't think he'd have enough gas, but I guess he got that 3rd gas up early enough. He didn't waste a lot of gas into Lurkers. He didn't build an incredible amount of mutas. He kept those alive. He made them into Guardians, and he held that push. And eventually manages to turn the tide. Wow, I'm really impressed. Of course, Sulky, one of my favorite players of all time. But really impressing me here, even still. He's going to go up against our final Protoss player. Of course, Terran has now been eliminated. It is going to be Mini versus Sulky, the final game this week of KCM. Guys, strap in. Put your seatbelts on to get this next game rolling. All right, guys. Our final game. I know it's sad to say goodbye, but we'll be back. We'll be back very soon for the next week. Don't worry. We've got Mini versus Sulky. Get hype, boys. Let's go. Go ahead and comment who you think is going to win this final game. Bless the YouTube algorithm, please. Would you do it for me? Please? Aww. Hit that subscribe button. Don't forget. Don't forget. Did you press it? Okay. Let's go into our game, guys. We're on Butter. Got Mini here in the bottom right. Sulky in the top right. He's looking for his natural. Wasn't able to find it. Gonna go for the 3rd instead. Oh, so close. Ooh, that was close. Barely gets it down. That drone actually listened. See, the drone never listens to me when I tell it to quickly throw down a hatchery. Spins around 6 times and realizes it's not in the right spot. Then it has to move. Then it finally tries to put down the hatch, but it's already too late. The probe is there. It's just Zerg problems. Looks like the probe is mad now. Trying to get some kills here in the mineral line, but not able to do it. Sulky gonna grab that third natural now. Technically the third base, but it is in the natural. Oh, the probe. Tragic throws down his little pylon there, blocks that natural. Very, very annoying. Gonna leave one Ling and one drone there to sort of chip away at that pylon. Eventually should be able to take that down. Gets the hatchery going. Mini does a good job of slowing things down though. And we'll see what he's got in store here. He did start off with a forge first. Got that cannon down now, getting his natural up. He's ready to begin mining that fresh base and teching up heavily here for the mid game. A layer is on the way. Everything looking more or less natural in this game. Of course, it's a two-player map, so pretty commonly you end up seeing the third base getting taken before the natural for Zerg players. It's just too commonplace that the Protoss will try to block your natural. And so Sulky didn't really even try to get that base, just immediately send his drone towards the third. And it's all going to be fine. That natural base will come up here momentarily. And Sulky should be able to hold off any early zealot aggression here that Mini decides to throw out. I say should because Mini is pretty damn good with zealot aggression, man. He is obviously one of the best in the world right now at moving those zealots around, keeping them hidden, sending them in at random times, and taking good engagements that give him an advantage. So far, he's just keeping those back at home. He's seen the number of lings that have been produced from Sulky. Doesn't want to mess with that. He's just going to sit back for now. Keep himself safe with a probe in the wall as he techs up here and gets that Corsair out. He's relatively sure that no crazy Hydra bus is on the way right now. A probe was kept alive long enough, and that is an essential skill for Protoss players, keeping that probe alive in the early game, keeping it alive at least long enough so that you can see what's going on. You can find out if the Hydra bust is coming or not, and you can prepare appropriately for that occurrence. Like he's gonna get an Overlord here. It's a nice pickup for Mini, especially considering Sulky did everything in his power to get his Spire down early in order to get the Scourge out here and protect his Overlords, but he has managed to get one Overlord, and we'll get a Scout here as well. Now the 4 Zealots running here into the natural, they do not have speed. This is a big surround for Sulky. He's even brought the drones forward to add that little extra damage. The Ling speed is done as well, so a great cleanup here for Sulky. That next Zealot gonna try to find a way to walk in and get a kill or two on some drones, but I doubt that will happen. I think Sulky is really on the ball this game, and he should be able to go ahead and just pick that off. Yeah, he didn't send the Lings out, and Mini was betting that he would, and so he ends up losing that Zealot for free. First DT is out on the map. We've got an Overlord in each location, so shouldn't be able to sneak in. A little bit of a distraction over here on the left side though, and the DT manages to run by in towards the main. He can't catch it, and this DT will run wild here for a little bit. Oh wait, there's an Overlord just behind. The Overlord behind. Ooh, another DT running here into the third. He gets one kill on a drone, another drone kill over here at the third, but all the drones will escape. Bunch of Lings heading over to the third now. Gonna hold off that DT. Walking on a wire here. Sulky just barely holding on against these DTs. Keeping his drones alive. Oh, another drone does go down. Good positioning here. One-shotting these Lings, so... does manage to get about 4 or 5 Ling kills. Definitely not worth it for a DT, but picking off the drone, I think he got 2 or 3 drones with that DT. Makes it pretty okay. Mini well known for his DT usage, sending in 4 or 5 DTs with a group of Zealots at the same time, something that most other Protoss players would never do, but this guy seems to make it work here and there. We'll see if he produces any more DTs this game. So far, it looks like he's just switching it up, going straight into Zealot Templar, adding on 1 Archon just in case there's a bunch of mutas on the field, but there is not. There's a huge group of Hydras just up here descending on this army. They're gonna try and pincer attack the Protoss here, get that Archon if possible. He's focusing it down, he traps it and gets it. Beautiful play, really smart play there from Sulky. You're able to get that high value target even while the Zealots were protecting it, making the best out of his Lings. He does eat a bunch of storm damage, but I think Sulky will be fine here. Dark Archon. Wow, Mini getting fancy here, but I think that Sulky's just about ready to try and break in. 3 Templar are gonna say otherwise, though. 3 Templar with quite a bit of storm. Now Mini, he's gonna be safe, and Sulky better go home, so he heads on back. He's got a good number of hatcheries here. I believe this is 5 or 6 hatch muta, or excuse me, 5 or 6 hatch Hydra. With that 3rd gas now being taken and mining happily here, I believe we're gonna see a bloom of lurkers here in a moment, but this Zealot run by has gone unnoticed. Sulky in a bit of trouble here. The rest of his Hydras are running back home, but how many drones will he end up losing? He's going to lose his Spire in the main. He's going to lose a bunch more drones here in the natural. Just right-clicking down as many drones as possible. Mini dealing a ton of economic damage. This turned out to be an excellent play from Mini. Sulky, unfortunately, just lost track of these Zealots on the map. There's so many different walking pathways around this map, so it's not surprising that he didn't manage to catch all of them. Now another run by of Zealots going to make their way into this 3rd base. Great positioning on these Hydras, but unfortunately this Spire will get picked off. Once again, losing the Spire, very painful stuff. And Sulky will need to re-drone up a little bit here before he can produce at the same level as where he was at previously. Sort of not where he wants to be. Surrounded the Zealots, though. This is a really good pickoff for Sulky. He's going to get all these Zealots. They barely managed to deal any damage at the 3rd base, and that was a big win here for Sulky. Look at how small this army is from Mini. He's only got a few Dragoons, about 5 or 6 Zealots, a couple of Storms, but Sulky's got a huge army of Hydra. He's sending it across the map. Hopefully he doesn't get backstabbed again. He needs to send out more Overlords to check for backstab attempts from Mini. He cannot allow that to happen again, otherwise I think he will just end up losing. Big Maelstrom in the middle here. Can he get the Storm off to combine, though? Yes, he does get that huge Storm. About 5 Hydras go down to those 2 spells alone. And Mini gonna take that victory, pushing back all these Hydras. making space for himself to take his third. Where will he take his third, though? The high ground on the right-hand side or the low ground on the left-hand side? Solki has vision over both of those locations. He's ready to pounce. Looks like he'll just pick off a couple of Templar here and then back away. He sees the probe running by, and that base has been taken. The low ground it is. Mini gonna try and take this base down here in the bottom left. Simultaneously, Solki snags a base on the high ground in the center right. See how that goes for him. 5 or 6 zealots running around the right-hand side. He's got to be prepared for this. Again, wish he had something on the right-hand side to hold that, or to check for these backstabs here. He needs to send some overlords over to watch for that. Pretty good storm usage, pretty good maelstrom usage from Mini. He still has that Dark Templar left alive. He's going to try and focus down this hatch. This hatch is falling rapidly. 4 zealots are left just to target this down. 400 HP. The Hydra's managed to run by the one single zealot on the ramp. Can he save it? No! The hatchery falls and Solki's hopes fall with them. Tons of Hydras moving out, but there's no lurkers to be found. This army of Zealot, Dragoon, Templar should be able to rip apart this all Hydra force. There's the lurkers finally being produced. But this is a little bit late here for Solki. He's going to try and run by. It looked like he wanted to get over there and deny that third base, but I'm sure that there's plenty of cannons down there already. Now, he does stop the fourth from potentially going down. He's going to start his own fourth once again, but this is not the position that Solki wants to be in. He's looking for some way, somehow, that he can actually outmaneuver Mini here. Maybe this is his opportunity. A ton of lurkers a ton of Hydras get stuck on the left-hand side, and this is the moment where Solki kind of needs to make his move. Where is he going to go with his army? Everything's on the right-hand side. Does he have drop? Is he going to drop into the main while he defends with the lurkers on the left-hand side? I think that's the plan. Huge drop being loaded up here. Solki going to make his move. Diving forward here. Can Mini break through? There's a lot of lurkers, so he wants to take it slow, but he has no idea about this giant drop that's coming in right now. His base is completely naked. This is a ton of dropships. 7 dropships full of lurker and Hydra here. He's gonna lose all of his production, but will Solki lose his third base? Great Maelstrom. That is the best Maelstrom I've ever seen on Hydra. So many Hydras go down. Solki simultaneously attacking into his opponent's third as well, so he's ripping apart the main and the third at the same time. But does he have the defenses to keep his own main base alive? I don't think he does. This is turning into a crazy game. Big old map, or what's it called, base trade here. Huge base trade. Creep colonies are being thrown down. I think that Solki needed to do this minutes ago, though, as he knew he was going for this drop. However, the main base of Mini has been completely ravaged. There's nothing left there. I think Mini's just gonna bunker down in his natural from here on. The Sunkens are finishing up, but a little bit too little too late. These Dragoon Zealots are just gonna rip this apart. Can he actually focus down maybe some Templar? Ooh, this drop of lurkers in the corner, though. Oh, it's so deadly. Those lurkers cannot be seen. They're right on top of the robotics facility too. Okay, there are 2 observers. They do get cleaned up. Those 2 observers are so clutch right now. The Hydras are moving back across the map. He has only 1 base left. Solki has to hold at this base. Is 1 base to 1 base. Not the greatest situation for a Zerg player, but he is nearly doubled the supply. Oh, actually, excuse me. Mini is double the supply of Solki. 112 to 60. Oh, Oh, can he actually hold on here? This is a desperate struggle. There's so many storms left over. He backs up his lurkers that are being damaged. Ooh, the storm on all of those drones as well. Lings pop out. There's not enough, though. The zealots crush through everything, and this is it. Only 3 buildings left. The evolution chamber, the hatchery, the... oh, I guess 4th. The extractor as well, and the hydralisk den. Everything dies. GG! Mini takes this insane final game. Win a base trade. What a way to finish. Mini with the victory. Taking it home for the Protoss, man. Wow. What a crazy, crazy way to end. All right, guys. Here are your point rankings. You can see Protoss catching up here. Zerg and Protoss neck and neck, 7 and 7. Got 177. I was actually gonna say something about 7-11, but that's completely backwards. Anyway, Terran way behind. Has only managed to get 2nd place 1 time in 5 weeks. Are you kidding me? Protoss and Zerg so strong right now. Guys, I am going to finish this video up. Going to get it out to you as quickly as possible. And I'm going to start on the next week right away. Thank you for your patience. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and alert bell as well. And comment something. I don't care what it is. Bless the YouTube algorithm, please. If you can, try to support as well. The links, of course, as always, in the description. Love you guys. Have a great weekend. Happy Canada Day. I'll see you guys in the next video.